What happens when God isn't there? The temple in Jerusalem, it stood. It was beautiful and tall, but it was hollow, a lot like a body without a heart. No fire, no glory, no presence. Just like in Eden, just like in Babel, Israel wanted the life God offered. They just didn't want God himself. And so God's glory left. Ezekiel saw it with his own eyes. He says, then the glory of the Lord departed. The temple, it stood, but it was empty, a powerless shell without its life-giving presence. And for centuries, the silence, it just stretched on. The prophets had spoken, but their voices had faded. And generations came and they went, still waiting for God to return. Isaiah captured the ache. He says, oh God, would you tear open the heavens and come down? But the heavens, they stayed shut. The longing, it only grew deeper until one night in Bethlehem, where God literally tore the heavens open and came down in a way that no one would have imagined. I love the way that John describes it. The Word became flesh and tabernacled among us. That word tabernacle, it means pitched his tent. Jesus was presence in person. God's glory, God's nearness, God's life, not in a tent or a temple, but in skin and bone. Jesus was a living, breathing, walking temple. Every thread of the story led to him. The garden that was lost, the temple that was emptied, the silence that stretched. But now, just like in the garden, God is walking with people again. Not as a messenger, not as a shadow, not as a preview. We're talking the real thing. In Christ, all the fullness of God lives in bodily form. The same God who spoke the universe into existence, who once filled Eden, who once filled the temple, now fills a carpenter's son. And Jesus, he doesn't stay behind walls. He touches lepers. He dines with outcasts. He raises the dead. He forgives sins. He is the presence of God that's on the move. And he came not just to dwell near us, but to break the barrier of separation forever. When he died, the temple curtain was torn in two, from top to bottom, from heaven to earth, a declaration that the distance was over. God's presence, it was no longer dangerous to sinful people. It didn't need to be restrained or locked inside anymore. Through Jesus, God's life-giving, reality-changing presence was unleashed on the world. The God we lost in Eden, the God who left the temple, the God who we longed for in silence, he has come. His name is Jesus. And his presence, it changes everything, because if Jesus is the true tabernacle, God with us, then God isn't far off. God isn't waiting for you to climb higher or to clean yourself up first. He isn't hidden behind curtains or locked in a building. He came down. He moved in. He made his presence personal. And that means you don't have to keep performing. You don't have to keep pretending. You don't have to keep hiding. The story isn't about you and me finding God. God came to find us. Think about that. The infinite became an infant for you, for me. The one who spoke galaxies into being. He emptied himself. He made himself dependent. He took on hunger and weakness and sleep so that you and I could know him, so that you could be near to him. So whatever your life looks like right now, whether it's your doubts or your fears or your failures, God has not stayed at a distance. He's come close. He remains close. And so today, don't rush past this. You don't have to wonder if God is near. You don't have to live like he's far away. Just pause. Just breathe that thought in and then live like it's true. Live like God is with you in the meeting or the carpool or the hospital room or the late night loneliness, because the God who filled Eden, the God who once dwelled behind a veil, he has stepped into our world and he's still with us.